Hello, lovely people. This is Miss Beddick, and today we are going to be analyzing a poem by Robert Hayden called Those Winter Sundays. And as I do this, I would like for you to do the same on your paper, please. So first I'm just going to read through and get a feel for what the poem's about. Sundays, too, my father got up early and put on his clothes in the blue-black cold. Then, with cracked hands that ached from labor and the weekday weather made, banked fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I'd wake and hear the cold, splintering, breaking. When the rooms were warm, he'd call, and slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house, speaking indifferently to him, who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices? Okay, so I have a general feel for the poem. Now I'm going to go through and circle any words that really struck me. They stuck out to me. They had a lot of feeling to them. And there's no right or wrong answer here. So if I choose some that you, or I don't choose some that you would have chosen, please go ahead and circle ones that you like as well. So blue, black stood out to me. Cracked hands that ached, and then blaze, the banked fires blaze. He could hear the splintering and breaking and the chronic angers of that house, speaking indifferently to him, and then austere and lonely. So now I'm going to pull these words out and stick them on the side over here. If you'll do the same. Cracked, ached, blaze, splintering, breaking, chronic angers, indifferently, austere, lonely. And austere, guys, if that's a word that you're not as familiar with, a synonym or a couple synonyms for that would be harsh or strict. The opposite of fun and silly, right? Very harsh. All right, so I'm looking at these words that I've pulled out, and remember, poets use every word on purpose, and so the fact that I resonated, that these words stuck out to me, that's probably something that the poet Robert Hayden had intended. And so when I'm looking at these, I'm noticing a lot of very harsh sounds: blue, black, cracked, ached, blaze, splintering, this harsh sounds, which makes me think, that's kind of like austere. That's like harsh. The tone is very negative. We have chronic, right? This is a long-lasting thing. This is like a chronic illness, right? Chronic means that it's continual. It's not something that's a one-time deal. So from here, all of these words can tell me that this has a very negative tone. If I didn't pick up on that on my first read through, just examining these words is telling me, something is, it's not happy. Okay, it's not a happy poem. So now I'm going to go through and look at it stanza by stanza. Remember that each of these chunks in a poem are called stanzas. And so I'm going to kind of summarize for myself and figure out what exactly is going on. So what's happening on Sundays, obviously in the winter. So he's talking about his father getting up and he's putting on his clothes in the deepest, darkest cold of the day, the blue-black cold. And his dad's hands, they ache and they're cracked from working during the week, from the labor during the week. And so we get the picture. This is not a dad who works in an office on the top floor of some big building, but he is a hard-working man who does probably manual labor. And he works extremely hard during the week. And here he's making a fire for his family, but no one ever thanked him. And then it says, I wake and hear the cold, splintering, breaking. This is probably the fire he's hearing, but possibly you could make the argument that maybe it's somebody's body. You know, when we wake up sometimes, especially as you get older, your body starts to crack, you know, and you crack your back in the morning. So maybe he's hearing that as well. And the dad calls, and the speaker, boy or girl, we don't know, the speaker gets up and starts to get dressed, and it says, I fear the chronic angers of that house. Now, is this the house that's angry? You know, maybe not literally, but the house, you know, it's making all these cracking noises in the cold, and maybe the kid's just scared of those noises. Or is the father angry? Right? Is this a house filled with a lot of tension and anger? I don't know. What do you think? The next, speaking indifferently to him who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. So this is a dad who, you know, he's gotten the house warm. He polished the shoes for his kids, yet the kid is speaking indifferently to him. Indifferently means like without any care. Imagine kind of just your mom or dad's talking to you, and you're just on your cell phone, right? I mean, we've all done it. That's indifferent. Like, I don't care what you're saying. Not important to me. He's indifferent to his dad. And then we hear a shift. He said, what did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices? Austere, I didn't know how harsh and strict and lonely love could be. Offices is responsibility. I had no idea how lonely and harsh it can be to be a parent. What did I know? What did I know? Okay. So here we get a better picture of the relationship, and also how the speaker is looking back. Okay. So we're going to do something similar like this in class tomorrow. So if you will bring this copy with you with your notes, and it'll be your model for tomorrow. And I will see you then. Thanks, guys.